The Starriors. Tunnel of Doom. Time. The far distant future. Place. The planet called Earth. But a very different Earth than the one we now know. Scorching solar flares have forced man to abandon the surface of his planet and to take refuge in deep underground caverns. There, in a state of suspended animation, he awaits the time when he can once again return. In his final moments on Earth, man created and programmed two groups of robots to perform separate but equally important functions. The group known as the Destructors were to protect the Earth from invading alien forces and mutated monsters produced by the intense solar radiation. The other group, known as the Protectors, were to prepare for man's return by helping new life to begin on Earth. For millennia, these robots have walked the Earth, creating their own civilization, the world of the Starriors.
Why do we have to dig this tunnel, Hotshot?
'Cause Slaughter Steelgrave tells us we have to, Flash this. If I weren't such a coward, I'd dump a load of rocks on his head next time I had the chance.
I wasn't talking to you, Runabout. Say, Hotshot, what's the story on this tunnel?
A job is a job, and we Protectors know how to build the best tunnel that can be built. It was programmed into us.
I'm not so crazy about my programming, Hotshot. It seems we Protectors do all the hard work, and those Destructors over there act like they are our bosses. Building this huge tunnel may be fulfilling your potential, but I was meant for some fun.
Listen to me, Cut Up. Our job is to make the Earth safe for man's return. Slaughter Steelgrave and the Destructors say that there is some kind of monster out of the desert, and that we've got to build this tunnel to protect the Starriors in case the monsters get inside the city. I know construction isn't a glamorous job, but we've just got to do it.
You know, Hotshot, I never agree with Runabout, but I feel like dumping some rocks on Slaughter, too.
I don't believe I'm hearing what I'm hearing. Cut Up's not teasing me today about what a coward I am, and he's actually agreeing with me on something, even if it is that we both wish our programming would allow us to get even with Slaughter.
Quiet, you two. Here comes Motormouth. Talk about programming. He can't help himself. If he hears you two complaining, he's going to repeat every word of what you're saying to Slaughter, and then we'll really be in trouble.
Anybody down on you, Hotshot, you just lead me to him. Nobody's going to do us Protectors in as long as I have any programming left in me.
Thanks, Crank. I know you're always here to help us Protectors, but right now we need your high-speed drill to move this tunnel ahead.
Hey, you lumbering mini-brain Protectors. This is Slaughter Steelgrave speaking. You got a job to do. Get moving before we Destructors cut you up and throw you in the junk pile. You, Crank, get that drill going. You're programmed to dig tunnels, so dig.
You hear that, Hotshot? He's picking on Crank again just because Crank is a little slow. He can't help it if he's lost a lot of his circuits because of those faulty transfer rings. He does the best with the memory he's got left. Someday Slaughter's gonna push him too far.
Is there something on your cowardly Protector information bank you'd like to say to old Slaughter, Cut Up? You've always got a wisecrack stored away in those precious Protector chips of yours.
I think that's enough, Slaughter. We Protectors are doing our job, and all we get from you is a pack of insults. You don't even share access to information with us. You just shout orders and expect us to obey. Well, it's true that we weren't programmed to be fighters as you were, But you're going to push us too far, and my laser may accidentally disintegrate one of your destructors instead of the rocks in this tunnel.
Is that a threat, Hotshot?
You take it any way you want, Slaughter. But remember, I warned you, and lay off Crank. You know he's not quite all there in his central processing unit. And since you destructors have taken all the transfer rings from us protectors, we can't even help him.
I'd remember that if I were you, Hotshot. We do have all the transfer rings in our possession, so if your protectors get out of line and happen to lose some parts, you'll have a hard time putting them back together. I say you protectors better stick to what you know best, digging this tunnel, and leave the fighting to us.
You want me to teach them a lesson, Slaughter? Let them get a load of my spiked ream? That'll keep those lowly protectors in line.
Thanks, but no thanks, Gouge. We'll soon be rid of our hard-working but always complaining protector Starriors. You might say that they are in the process of doing themselves, digging their own grave.
I don't think I understand, Slaughter.
Not important, Gouge, not important. I'm here to be the brains. You just stand guard and make sure this tunnel gets dug and that it's big enough to hold all those troublemaking protectors. I think my plan is going to be put into effect not a moment too soon. Don't you agree, Sawtooth?
What plan, Slaughter? I don't think you've mentioned any plan to me. You did say we needed this tunnel as a shelter against those desert monsters, should they get through our security and reach the walls of the city. I've never seen those monsters go.
Of course you haven't, Sawtooth. There aren't any monsters.
But, sir, the tunnel. You said it had to be big enough for all the Starriors to hide in.
Well, let's just say for all the protectors to hide in, Sawtooth.
Why only protectors, Slaughter?
I see I really have to draw you a picture, Sawtooth. Didn't you hear Hotshot talk about turning his laser on us? Do you know what would happen if the protectors override their programming and fight against us?
But men didn't program them to fight.
Didn't I tell you never to use the word man? Forget about that foolish myth. Man doesn't exist, never existed, never will exist. There are only Starriors on this planet, and soon there will only be destructors. And as our slaves, only those protectors who will work without complaining. The troublemakers have to go.
Let me at him, boss. I'll ream him to death. I'll take him apart bolt by bolt, and I'll love every minute of it.
Yes, Gouge, I'm sure you would love the chance to take out your wicked temper on our protector friends. But your way is slow, and there is a chance that they may catch on to what is happening and revolt. My little plan will destroy them all at once in a tomb of their own making. I like that idea. Yes, the protectors are digging their final resting place and don't even know it. Do you understand what I am saying, Sawtooth?
I think I'm beginning to.
Does it surprise you, Sawtooth?
No, Slaughter, but...
No buts. We must destroy them before they gain the capability of destroying us. You might call it a preemptive strike, Sawtooth. You can understand the importance of that, can't you? Why do I always get the feeling that you are secretly sympathetic to our protector enemies? No, don't bother to protest. Just remember that we will be watching you, and at the first sign of disloyalty, you will be destroyed without a thought. For my plan must not fail.
Slaughter Steelgrave's little conference with his fellow destructors, Sawtooth and Gouge, did not go unnoticed by Hotshot. Nothing would make Hotshot happier than to fulfill his programming and to prepare the Earth for man's return. Easygoing by nature, he is aware that something sinister is up, and that his fellow protectors may indeed soon be fighting for their lives. And so Hotshot turns for advice to Twinblade, the brilliant and artistic waster. Twinblade, I think Slaughter Steelgrave is up to something, having us protectors dig this huge tunnel. But I don't know what.
You may be right, Hotshot. He seems very nervous these days. Remember how he made me stop working on that old wall in the Forbidden Zone? It was full of beautiful carved writing. He doesn't realize that an artist becomes very attached to his work.
We all know what a fine artist you are, Twinblade. But how about coming up with a brilliant idea to help your fellow protectors?
The answer is obvious, Hotshot. Never dig yourself into a tunnel that's a dead end. Always plan for an escape route, if trouble comes.
We're going to be dead builders, Hotshot, if we sit around and listen to our artistic friend Twinblade. It's time that we protectors took on the destructors and showed them we can fight too.
A little patience, Cutter. You know our programming doesn't allow us to be fighters. I think Twinblade may have some information in his databank that may be of assistance to us.
Okay, Twinblade. What's this about an alternate escape route?
Send for Windstorm, Ripsaw, Runabout, Crank. I want you all to be in on the plan. The quickest way to gather all the protectors was to send Motormouth, the messenger rammer.
Hey, Ripsaw, Windstorm, Runabout. Hotshot wants you over at Think Tanks for a conference. Did anyone see Crank? He's never around when I have to give him a message, and I don't even know what the meeting is about. Nobody tells me anything. I think they think I talk too much. After all, my job is to give messages. What do they want me to be, a deaf mute?
Speaking of deaf mutes, Slaughter Steelgrave was about to complete his plan with the help of the huge avenging angel known as Deadeye, the blind Cosmotor, who with his deaf-mute scout Cricket formed the ultimate destruction machine.
Well, Deadeye, I think the time has come to get rid of those goody-goody protectors. I'm sick to death of hearing about how they are going to prepare the Earth for man's return, when we know that man will never return. It's getting to the point where they are actually threatening us destructors.
Oh, treacherous protectors. You will soon breathe your last, for Deadeye will receive great pleasure in terminating your existence on this planet.
Exactly what we had in mind, Deadeye. Isn't that right, Gouge?
Let me at him, Slaughter. My spiked ream can make slivers out of the whole bunch.
Down, Gouge, down. Why risk close combat and possible injury when we have Deadeye and Cricket? We will guide them to the outside of the tunnel the protectors are digging. Then Cricket will guide Deadeye in firing his high-explosive demolition discs. A few well-placed explosives will cause the tunnel to collapse with all the protectors inside. Neat and complete, I would say. Don't you agree, Sawtooth?
Not exactly a fair fight, Slaughter.
Fair? Did I hear you say fair? Well, fair isn't part of my programmed vocabulary, Sawtooth, and it had better get dropped from yours. The only thing fair to Slaughter is that the Starrior Destructors survive as rulers of this planet.
The next several days passed, with the protectors busily digging, and the destructors urging them to work faster and faster. Yes, Hotshot had his protectors working at full steam. A plan, an escape plan, was being put into effect just in case. Then, one morning...
Hotshot, looks like the tunnel is almost finished.
Yes, Slaughter. When we protectors do a job, we really do a job.
Guess you could say this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Now that all you protectors are assembled, we have a little present for you.
As he spoke these words, Deadeye and Cricket appeared at the entrance to the tunnel and started firing high-explosive discs. The roof of the tunnel began to crumble, and it looked like the destructors' plan to bury all the protectors was going to work. But as we said, Hotshot and the protectors had prepared their own way out. Due to Twinblade's years of experience in archaeological excavations, he was aware of a hidden network of sewer tunnels that originated when man had ruled the earth. With the help of his maps, the protectors found the entrances to these tunnels, and as the rocks started caving in around them, they slipped out through the secret passages which stretched under the city. If Hotshot and his protectors get lucky, they could follow these tunnels and find their way to freedom and the Forbidden Zone. Perhaps there, they could fulfill their goal to find and awaken their creator, man.